Hello, I'm Nikhil Sharma here for LowKick MMA. I'm delighted to be joined by Kyle Nelson ahead of his fight with Jai Herbert at UFC London on July 23. Hey Kyle, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. How are you feeling today?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
And you'll be taking on Jai Herbert at UFC London. How are you feeling about the fight?
I feel great. This is going to be kind of my true debut at 155 in the UFC. I fought at 155 once before, but it was on 3 days notice. So this time I've had, lots of time to, kind of fill out at 155 and get ready for this.
Yeah, because you have been competing at featherweight recently, and now you'll be going back up to lightweight. Do you feel like that is helping you with the weight cut, or mentally, will that have an impact on your performance?
Yeah, absolutely. Cutting down to 145. I always had to cut through muscle. Like I would lose all the fat, and then I would have to start cutting through muscle in order to make it down to 145. So at 155, I have the perfect amount of muscle. So we're just gonna lose the fat, lose a little bit of muscle, but it won't be nearly as bad as going to 45. So I think my performances will be a lot better now.
And have you decided after this fight, do you want to go back and compete at 145 still, or are you going to stick to 155?
No, I've made a permanent change to 155. I've again continued to kind of build my body and get used to this 155-pound frame. And I don't think it would be possible for me to go back to 145.
Yeah, how are you feeling about going to London? We've all heard about the atmosphere there, and you'll be there in front of the crowd. Although, do you feel like it would impact you mentally going in front of or into the enemy territory?
No, not at all. I've fought in Mexico before, and again, obviously Mexico has a huge fight culture, and I was fighting the hometown guy there. And again, I finished him early. Won the crowd over. That's what I plan to do in London.
So would that be your official prediction for the fight? You're going to knock him out?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Jai kind of get knocked out by other guys. Even Ilya Tsukura, kind of a smaller guy. When he faces a guy with my kind of power, which I don't think he has yet, he's going to be going to sleep pretty quick.
Yeah, so when you're going into this fight and you're coming off a loss to Billy Quarantillo, you just signed a new deal with the UFC, right? And this is going to be the first of those. What are your plans ahead with the company?
I mean, it all starts, in London when I beat Jaya, and then we'll sit down, talk with Dana White and John Shelby, and kind of map out the plan for me at 155 pounds. I think once they see me compete here, they're going to know that I'm a challenger, and they're going to want me working up towards that title.
Yeah, and it's going to be the perfect card, I feel like, because there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on this one. Anytime it's in London. Are there any other fights on the card that you're excited for?
I haven't really looked at the other card. I've been so tunnel visioned on my fight and just focusing on what I need to do to get ready and stuff that I haven't, really looked into much of that stuff.
Okay, so let's talk about another fight that's coming up this weekend that's got everyone hyped up. Volkanovski and Holloway. What do you make of their trilogy fight? And do you have a dog in that race?
I'm leaning towards Max Holloway. I think he won the last fight. So I think it should pretty much go the exact same. I think we'll see kind of Holloway kind of edge him out. It'll probably go to decision. And then we just have to hope that the judges get it right this time.
Yeah, and Holloway has been telling everyone that it won't go past the third round. Do you feel like Holloway will be able to put Volkanovski away, who, let's remember, has gone unbeaten in the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, Max always puts on such a high volume, and that's kind of how he's able to finish guys. And we have seen him drop Volkanovski before. We've seen him hurt him before. He just hasn't been able to kind of, follow up on that. So who knows? Maybe, Max has improved some areas of that. Obviously, both guys have spent a lot of time with each other in the octagon. So maybe Max, has found the key to, following up on some of those shots after he hurts Volkanovski.
Yeah, so when you look at the featherweight division, we, of course, right now are blessed to have these two pound for pound greatest fighters. Some of those compete against each other. Who, according to you, is the featherweight GOAT?
The GOAT would probably be Aldo. I know a lot's gone on in the last few years, but obviously Aldo kind of, he was the champ, from the WEC days into the UFC. He held that kind of title for a very long time. So I don't think anybody's kind of caught up to that yet. I think Holloway would be a close second, but I don't think he's kind of quite got those accolades yet, or the same kind of time in the game that Aldo did.
Yeah, I personally would completely agree with you on that. Was Aldo an inspiration when you picked up MMA and started training?
So I started training in like 2015. So I hadn't actually heard of Aldo yet. I kind of started with the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. So like Forrest Griffin, Diego Sanchez, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, and then obviously George St. Pierre kind of came on the scene, pretty quick. So that's kind of the era I started with.
Yeah, and GSP had kind of like faded away at that point. You must have been super excited to see him return for that Bisping fight after that.
Yeah, I had the chance to go and train with him in Montreal at TriStar there before the Bisping fight. Even before it was kind of official, there was just kind of rumors and stuff like that. And I got to train with him, and that was super cool. And then obviously to see him back in action, with a big victory like that and taking home another belt and becoming, a double champ.
What was it like training with him? Is there a memorable moment that sticks out?
The whole thing was great. Obviously George is a really great guy. I spent a lot of time there, so I was able to train with him on multiple different, training sessions. So we would do kickboxing, MMA, wrestling. But yeah, so it was always a good time training with George. Especially because he's such a nice guy and such a helpful guy.
Yeah, and did you spend some time working with Ferraz the hobby there as well at TriStar?
Yeah. So again, Ferraz, he's kind of like the head coach at TriStar. So yeah, a lot of the sessions were run by him. So I'd always be bouncing off the ideas off him and asking little questions about techniques and stuff. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so when you look at GSP, right, he's been the poster boy for Canadian MMA. He's the one who got the movement started. How do you see what is the future for Canadian MMA going ahead, in your opinion?
I think with my move up to 155, I think we're going to make a pretty big splash. And, I think I'm going to hopefully be that kind of the next Canadian star, after George and then kind of Rory McDonald. And then we haven't really had anybody kind of, take the reins yet. We've got a couple guys coming up, obviously with Charles Jourdain, Gavin Tucker. We've got a lot of people coming up now, Mike Ballot. But I don't think we kind of have that star power yet. So, I'd love to step in and take that, the star power and revitalize Canadian MMA fans.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. When you look at becoming more of a star in the game, getting more attention to your name, and you look at some of the tactics that some fighters use to get more promotion, and it does financially benefit them, right? Does that influence your character, aura, personality, or something when you step inside the octagon or anything related to promoting in the UFC?
No, not really. I'm still gonna, kind of stick to myself. I've got, kind of my character and morals that I like to stick with. So I'm not gonna, go against that, start making fun of people's moms or families or countries or doing stuff like that just to try and make a couple extra bucks. I'm in the sport to compete, and that's all I want to do. Try and be the best I can be.
Yeah, and you also have your own martial arts gym in Muskaka, correct? Could you tell me about how that whole story came to fruition?
Yeah. So I've grown up and lived in Muskoka all my life, and kind of a guy I knew had started this gym, Muskoka Martial Arts, and then just kind of the pandemic hit. And so everything was kind of closed down for an extended period of time here. He was unable to kind of keep the gym open. So he came to me and we kind of worked something out. And me and another business partner were able to take it over in December. And so now we're working on kind of building back the gym.
Hey Kyle, yeah, you were saying building back the gym. I lost you after that.
Just working on kind of building the gym back after the pandemic.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So first, I want to thank you for taking the time out to have this interview here with us, and I would like to give you the floor to give a shout out to any teammate, sponsor, anyone else you would like to.
Sorry, what was that?
I would like to give you the floor for a shout out to any sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you would like to.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, Sheath Underwear, Moose Sports Bar and Grill, the Sport Lab, Muskoka Martial Arts, my gym, and Muskoka Reynolds. We have a lot of other sponsors kind of coming on board, and hopefully we'll kind of finalize some of that stuff. And then just, the gyms I train at, House of Champions, Niagara Top Team, all my coaches and staff. Thanks to everyone so far, and, can't wait to get this win on July 23rd.
All the best, Kyle, and thank you so much for taking the time out again, man. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.